Hi, Kutho here, and it is October, glorious, glorious October, which means in a couple weeks here we're going to have Halloween coming along, which is my favorite holiday, and it's just one that I truly enjoy due to a lot of different reasons. But, there is one thing that is really annoying about October, and that is all the motherfucking zombies that start popping up. Now, we all know zombies. They've particularly become a little bit more known in the media eye. They show up more often. There are times that great plagues of them are showing up closer to Halloween, where people watch out for these zombie walks, you know, and people take them generally in stride. I mean, the one of the big things, like maybe back like 10 years ago, would have really freaked people out to see a mass of zombies just wandering around while they're trying to eat dinner, which can always be a problem because if you're like going out or going to check the mail or you want to go to the mall and you end up running into this particular little scene, which can be problematic because, if, nothing will ruin your day quicker than a horde of zombies just popping up out of nowhere. So, and I figured I would do a little PSA to help people better prepare to deal with the problems of zombies popping up more during the month of October. And hopefully also to give you a better chance at surviving a run in with these, be it one or be it 100. But if it's like 10 or less, then you've got a less significant problem and you might actually be able to deal with it yourself, provided you follow a few simple little tips. Are lots of different types of zombies, but there are three main categories of zombies. It was named after the documentary series that was done by George A. Romero, first entitled The Living Dead series. He's made 6 documentaries on this, and at least I believe it's 6. And the types that he runs into are the most common type, the Romero type, which are slow, ponderous, relatively easy to deal with unless you have significant numbers around, in which case it's you versus a mob, and that's never favorable results. Um, the one big thing with them that you have to watch out for, like I said, is A, numbers, and the second one, which most people tend to forget, is that Romero zombies have an amount of tool use available to them. He's shown in at least 3 of his documentaries multiple scenes to where the zombies were able to use tools to get to their prey or attempt to get to their prey. 2 times in the first documentary, Night of the Living Dead, one zombie to get stuck in a car used a rock to break the window to get in. There was a young zombie that, when she turned, grabbed a small garden implement and then killed her mother to therefore make it easier for her to feed. In the third documentary, it specifically showed many instances where a zombie, and also showed that zombies can be trained to interact with people. Showed that its tool use, when given a chance to flourish, can range from anything from using a shaving razor to operating a tape recorder to even complex actions like loading and chambering a round in a handgun. And the fact that also on top of that is capable of such skills as marksmanship, because the particular case study in there showed that the thing actually could shoot when it was given a chance to get back at one of its tormentors. And then in the fourth documentary in the series, Land of the Dead, um, tool use was very, very evident throughout that whole thing. Um, One of the zombies was even teaching other zombies how to use tools via when he noticed that one of the zombies had a meat cleaver in his hand and then directed him to cut through a sheet of thin wood with it. to figuring out that he can use a jackhammer to get through bulletproof glass. Even if it wasn't working, it just provided enough of a point for him to actually punch it right through. To instructing from what he had seen and experienced himself, instructing another zombie in the use of a fully automatic rifle. And that is one of the things with a Romero zombie that you have to watch out for, is the fact that one of them might know how to use stuff. And just their sheer numbers and persistence. These guys are rarer than the Romero zombie, but they are actually probably on par in terms of dangerousness. Because, first off, they're relatively intelligent. They will try to lure prey to areas, which will allow it easier for them to get them. And on top of that, when there is prey nearby, they will actually actively chase after it. They can actually run. It's this weird kind of like their bones are attached to springs type run, but they'll still come after you as fast as they can. And they're also very, very selective in their feeding style. They are most commonly known, if you ever hear a zombie utter the word brains, you're probably dealing with an O'Bannon zombie. And on top of that, they are just notoriously difficult to kill. Animated by a chemical process from a chemical called trioxin, it has given them an amazing amount of resilience, to where pretty much the only way to destroy one is to utterly destroy it, or just render it so incompletely useless that there is no way it can do anything to you. So, like burning it to a cinder, dropping it in a vat of acid, just utterly hacking it to so many small pieces that it just can't do anything. These are pretty much assured ways to take care of a O'Bannon zombie, but the time and effort necessary to take care of just one just makes it better that you actually just do something to stall it and then get out of there. Because you don't want to be stuck trying to fight one when 5 more show up. Third type, and probably the rarest of the bunch, is what's known as a Gen X zombie. A Gen X zombie is actually a zombie that has several of the things that kind of make it a little subpar to a Romero zombie. But the one thing it has going for it is that it has a greater range of fluidity and movement than even the O'Bannon zombies. They can move smoothly. They're incredibly cunning. They can get around a lot easier than you would think. There was one documented in a documentary that was inspired by Romero's second documentary, where it showed they were capable of running at like full sprints, maintain them for long periods of time. And on top of that, they were able to then go and come after a person via any other ways. Like they showed one scene in the documentary where a zombie missing its legs was actually utilizing pipes on a ceiling to get along, and did this quite effortlessly. This alone is one of the things that makes them very dangerous. That and the fact that when found in great numbers, they have a very hardcore pack mentality, and will react a lot quicker than any of the other zombies that you might possibly encounter. So those are the 3 most common types of zombies that you're probably going to run into. Any other rarer ones are not, like I said, the chances of you running into them are very slim. Now that you know how to identify the most common types of zombies that you're going to run into, I will, in the part 2 of this, I will tell you a little bit about what you need in order to best deal with these things and increase your odds of survivability greatly. I will see you in part 2, and we'll give you a couple tips on survivability against these types of zombies. Thank you for your time. See you in part 2.